All right, let's just dive right in. You know, we spend so much of our time looking up at the stars, right? Searching for the great unknown, but what if the biggest mysteries, the most alien worlds aren't out there at all? What if they're right here, on our own planet, just hidden under miles and miles of water? Today, we're taking that plunge. We're going down into the abyss. Take a look at this number, 95%. That's how much of our world's oceans are completely, totally unexplored by human eyes. Think about that. It's the last real frontier on Earth, a whole world of crushing pressure and just eternal darkness. And that really brings up the biggest question of all, doesn't it? If we've only seen 5%, what in the world is hiding in the other 95? Well, let's go find out. We're going to start our descent in what they call the shallows. And, you know, shallows is a very relative term here. This is where we've already found some things that, well, they just don't seem to belong. Things that pretty much defy any natural explanation. So, first on our list is this object found on the bottom of the Baltic Sea. And honestly, it has had researchers scratching their heads ever since it was discovered. It's known simply as the Baltic Sea anomaly. And the details here are just bizarre. It's this huge, 60-meter-wide circular object. And yeah, sci-fi fans were all over this one, because it looks almost exactly like the Millennium Falcon. But get this. There are these long drag marks behind it, stretching for hundreds of meters, like it literally skidded to a stop. And even weirder, any and all electrical equipment, we're talking satellite phones, cameras, you name it, it just dies if it gets within 200 meters of this thing. So, the big question is, what is it? And the theories are all over the place. I mean, on one hand, you've got the shape, the electronic interference. A lot of people are convinced it has to be a crashed UFO. But then, on the other hand, its location in the Baltic Sea has others thinking it might be some kind of top-secret Nazi anti-submarine weapon from World War II, a piece of lost tech. The truth is, nobody knows for sure. Okay, let's head over to our next shallow water puzzle, this time off the coast of Japan. Now this one doesn't look like it crashed from the sky. It looks like it rose up from the earth, maybe with a little bit of help. This is the Yonaguni Monument. And this thing is just enormous. It's a massive stone formation with these incredibly sharp, almost perfect right angles, distinct terraces, and what look, for all the world, like carved steps. Honestly, it looks like a sunken pyramid. And here's the part that really makes you think. If humans did build it, geology tells us it would have to be over 10,000 years old. So you've got two main camps here. A lot of geologists will argue that, hey, it's just a really weird but totally natural sandstone formation that's been shaped by ocean currents. But others are certain it's proof of a lost civilization, one that existed before the last ice age. A culture building monuments thousands of years before the Egyptians. And if that's true, we have to completely rewrite the timeline of human history. Okay, we're leaving those seabed anomalies behind now. Let's go deeper. We're descending into the twilight zone. Down here, the light starts to fade to nothing, and the mysteries, they become less about structures and more about strange sounds and, well, life that seems to defy life itself. So back in 1997, NOAA, that's the U.S. agency that keeps an eye on our oceans, they detected this sound. They nicknamed it the bloop. And it was this incredibly powerful, super low-frequency noise that just rose up from the depths of the Pacific Ocean. Now, to give you an idea of just how powerful this was, take a look. The bloop sound profile was kind of like a living creature's, but as you can see, it was way, way louder than a blue whale. And the blue whale is by far the loudest animal we know of on the entire planet. It was so loud that sensors picked it up over 5,000 kilometers apart. Now, the official explanation eventually landed on it being a massive ice quake. But for years, the biological sound signature had researchers asking this one terrifying question. What kind of undiscovered leviathan, what kind of giant creature could possibly be big enough to make a sound like that? So, from a creature we could only hear, let's turn to one we can see, but can barely understand. A creature that seems to have found a cheat code for one of the fundamental laws of nature. Meet the so-called immortal jellyfish. This is honestly just mind-bending stuff. When this tiny jellyfish, Turritopsis dohrnii, gets old or hurt, it doesn't just die, no. Instead, it sinks to the ocean floor, and its cells completely transform, reverting back to their earliest baby stage, called a polyp. And from that polyp, a brand new genetically identical jellyfish is reborn. It literally hits the reset button on its life, which just challenges everything we think we know about aging. It is biologically immortal. And now, for our final descent,
We are going to the deepest, most hostile point on planet Earth, the final frontier under the waves, a place of unimaginable pressure and absolute, total blackness. Welcome to the abyss.
We're headed for the Mariana Trench. That's 11,000 meters. That's nearly 7 miles straight down. To put that in perspective, you could take Mount Everest, drop it in this trench, and its peak would still be more than a mile under the surface of the water. Down here, the conditions are just almost impossible to even wrap your head around. The water pressure is more than 1,000 times what it is at the surface. That's like having 50 jumbo jets stacked on top of you. And there is zero light. None. Just an eternal, crushing darkness. Logically, this place should be an empty, sterile void. And yet, we know some microbial life has found a way. But what's really unsettling is that sonar readings from research ships have, again and again, picked up huge, unexplained objects moving around in the deep. Things that are way bigger than any known creature at that depth, moving with purpose in the blackness.
And this, of course, has led to the ultimate, chilling theory. In a place this vast, this deep, so completely untouched by humanity, could something ancient have survived down there? Is it possible that prehistoric predators, like the colossal Megalodon shark, are still hunting in that eternal darkness, completely hidden from our world?
And with that kind of terrifying thought, we come back to the surface. We've gone from strange objects that challenge our history to impossible creatures that rewrite biology, all the way to whispers of ancient monsters hiding in the deep. It really leaves you with one last question to chew on, doesn't it? We spend billions searching the stars for aliens and monsters, but maybe, just maybe, we forgot to check our own basement first. What truly lies beneath our own waves is still the greatest mystery of all.